Well, hey. Good evening to everyone. It's another Increase Media moment, and I am happy, glad about it. Welcome to everyone who is logging on. Absolutely want to extend the invitation for you to share this thread. Promise it's going to be empowering. For many of you, it is going to be life altering. If you know a parent, a foster parent, an adoptive parent, anyone who stands or facilitates in fostering healthy, well, effective, resilient youth and young adults, please, ma'am, please, sir, invite someone to this conversation. I assure you it will be an amazing investment of your time. For those of you that may or may not know me, my name is Dion. They call me the radical one. And I assure you, before this conversation ends, you will absolutely understand why. And tonight, we are going to have a discussion with someone that is, listen, when I say well worth knowing, a plethora of knowledge and information. I call her a genius. She is spunky. She is well versed and educated in creating and building effective support systems for families, their youth, young adults in education. And you know that times and seasons are absolutely changing, and it is really important that we empower not just our Black and brown children, but children of all ages from all walks of life to go into the next phase of learning and growth and development. And I won't tell you everything about who she is, as tonight's discussion will absolutely foster that dialogue. But I certainly could not go without giving a formal introduction to, I'll call her the content queen, child. I've not experienced anything like it. The lady is a cotton picking brainiac. And so if you are struggling with distance learning during the pandemic, if you're having a hard time with your youth and your young adult, listen, this conversation is for you. This is not church associated or affiliated. This is just a general matter of fact. And one of the things I think we do ourselves a disservice in is getting the necessary support that we need in an effort to build healthier, stronger families and communities. And so tonight's discussion is going to encompass that. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure and an honor for me to introduce to some and to present to others this amazing, she's a boss, y'all, I promise. And as soon as you hear this chick chat, you're going to be like, yeah, I get it. So with no further ado, Dr. Zoee Bartholomew, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Zoee Bartholomew. Say, sugar.
Hey, everybody,
Hey,
how you
Doc.
doing? Hey,
Listen, I'm
hope
I'm
you
super
guys
excited
can
about
hear
our
me
conversation.
good.
I can hear
All
you
right,
good. Yep,
all
I can hear
right,
you just
good.
fine. Hey, Bridget. Hey, Keisha. Hey, Miss Barbara. Hey, Sonia. Hey, again to everyone. Thank you all for joining this evening. And more importantly, thank you for taking an interest in your youth and young adult. Um, if you have not done so, again, I want to invite you to tag a friend, share with a friend. Um, by all means necessary, you can watch on YouTube, and that's just at Increase Media, and you'll see the information on the screen. So, B Link Increase Media TV, and make sure that you are inviting those parents. Listen, I've seen so many instances where folks are just lost. I was lost. You hear me? I was lost
Yeah,
when I
I
went to go
understand.
sit with my sister's kids, and I'm thinking to myself, "Oh God, you got to do this every day." I'm so grateful that Josiah is almost 18 years old because I would be shook. So listen,
Right,
Zoe,
right.
um, I want you to tell the people a little bit about who you are, a little bit about your background and what your primary focus is. Who are you, ma'am? Uh-oh.
Well, I
Did you
am
freeze?
someone
There you go.
who,
No, you good. Go ahead.
all right, okay. I'm somebody who, I was born and raised in Berkeley, and, I have a lot of experience working with children and being myself from the day, I had to deal with challenges. I was that kiddo that had lots of challenges and gave my family lots of problems. My background from there just took me on this adventure of learning how to work with children. I started out working at a recreational program in Berkeley, YAP. And from there, I was able to first be introduced to working with individuals with disabilities. And so from there, that's where I gained my interest and knowledge. I went to Howard. I did a field experience work at an autism unit. From there, I became a special ed teacher over here in Vallejo for the Vallejo district. And then from there, I became a behavior specialist. So I just been kind of working my way up, had lots of families ask me for help and support at home. And so that's what allowed me to do what I'm doing.
That's phenomenal. I know
Thank
so
you.
many parents that are currently struggling with, number one, the adaptation period of having a special needs child, a child that has developmental delay or disorder, ADHD, all those different things, those things that were mentioned even in your video as we, have been preparing for this day's launch, that really don't necessarily know what tools and resources to use as it relates to finding the proper support for their youth and young adult. And now with distance learning in place, it is, if you don't have a master's degree, if you don't have some type of BA or BS in something, it's a whole entire challenge. And so I know, Zoe, you serve on so many different boards and auxiliaries and serve even in the judicial system with dealing with educational support and being an expert witness. Y'all listen, it's when I tell you it's a whole boss in the studio tonight, I really need y'all to get it. And she's so humble, it's annoying.
Yes.
She could care less. She just, all she wants to do is teach, train, help, support, to the degree that I've not seen. I am thoroughly impressed with your passion for your purpose, honestly, and that's from a
Thank you.
mother perspective. Um, so Zoe, I know you are on a life's journey of really helping to transform lives through the power of education and
Mhm.
familial support. What are some of the key things that you want to bring to the table in your local communities? What are some of the things that you actively want to spark, shall I say?
Well, first and foremost, I always want to spark everybody's attention to the information. So you need to be clear of what is happening with the youth and what's going on. And I think first off, it's like you have to do some outreach, sharing the information, sharing what's going on. And then from there, I want to take it to a step further. So it's like now you have to participate. So it's one thing, we're really big and doing protests and things like that. And I've talked about this before where you have to take action. You have to go beyond hitting the streets. You got to hit the council rooms. You got to participate in these meetings that I'm in. It's open to the public, but yet there's no public there, right? So, bottom line is there are ways for you to participate. And so, for our community, we have various different deficits, but we have to come together as a community. But I think information and knowledge is power. So, that's why I'm big on education because I
Mhm.
think the more knowledge people know, the more confident they are to participate and they're more informed, basically. So that's what I see.
Yeah, I agree. I know, it's amazing to watch the times and the trends change where parents relied solely on teachers for everything.
Oh yeah.
Now, here the tables are absolutely turned, where parents have to be active in their children's academic success.
Oh yeah.
What has been some of the greatest pushback or fears that you've come across dealing with parents as it relates to interacting with distance learning?
Well, number one is they are now wearing multiple hats. So keep in mind, prior to the pandemic, parents already wore multiple hats, meaning they're a parent, they're also a mother, a father, somebody's sister, sibling, friend, co-worker, employee. They got all these other hats, but then now they become the teacher. For my special needs community, they become a therapist. They are now data collectors. They're doing all types of things that they're not used to doing, nor is their child used to them doing that. So their child is looking at them like, yo, I don't want to deal with this. Who are you? Like, you're mommy or you're daddy, and I see you in this light, and now you're trying to give me instruction. They don't
Right,
want to receive that. So,
right, right,
what's been
right.
commonly happening is there's been a flip flop of the roles and the environments that they're in. And so everyone is just kind of losing it like, whoa, this is too much. So that's why I always tell my families it's okay to vacate the plan. I know you got this big plan of this is how you want it to go, but sometimes it's okay to say, I'm gonna vacate this plan, I'm gonna give you a break, I'm gonna give myself a break. We're gonna take some space and we'll regroup and then we can get back to the plan.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. You mentioned that in the brief commercial that we aired prior to this conversation on tonight. Is you said something about a designated space. Now I'm a
Yeah.
go. I have a tendency to tell all my business all the time, right? So in dealing with a high school senior, it's a little bit different. And when I was sitting with my sister's kids, the difference was that everybody had their designated area, and they were, Michelle has her desk set up where, and she's learned how to navigate going in this class and in that class, whereas my 17-year-old, listen, they don't have to turn their camera on, so this joker might be laid out flat
Right,
out.
right,
He might be
right.
not for a portion of the class. The difference is the level of responsibility, of course. But what I
Of
experienced
course.
was my niece got extremely frustrated. She couldn't find a class. This is like in the very beginning.
Hmm.
I was like in borderline tears. And so I just want to, like, for real, I was stressed out to the point where I called Elizabeth and was like, we're gonna have to do something, because God forbid if I'm not there, and her granny is downstairs and you at work. I'm like, how do you do
Hmm.
this? What are some
Right.
practical things um, that people can do? Because sometimes it might not be during the course time. It might not be during the class session, especially if you have a child
Yeah.
with special needs or learning disabilities or any level of autism or anything like that. What are some simple, practical tips and tools for parents who the plan is not working?
Right. So when the plan isn't working, it's always okay to create a new one. I think we forget that and we need to look at what's working, what's not working. And it's all right to, you could do this. Like in your case, you have an older child who, obviously it sounds like he may not be interested or he's not engaged in how they're presenting material to
Bored
him.
out his mind.
Right. And so
Mhm.
one of the things that, I try to teach too with some of my clients is to advocate for themselves. So, I would be working with him on teaching him how to communicate. And now it's great to kind of communicate with the teachers because now they can communicate via email. They don't have to wait after class, after school, and kind of feel embarrassed. Now they could just shoot the teacher an email, but they
Right.
forget they can now have these one-on-one sessions or communicate this way to say how they feel. I don't feel your class is engaging. Now, some teachers may not want to accept that, but I
Mm-hmm.
always tell my clients to add a little bit more. It's not engaging, meaning what? You can't just say it's not engaging. What else? Right? So, what else could they be doing? What makes you interested? And then I think what happens is from there, try to create. So, I think what I'm trying to say is it's important for you to include their voice. What are they saying? What are they communicating with you, your child, basically? And
Mm-hmm.
what do you feel that they need? And if they can't advocate, for themselves, then you need to advocate on their behalf and be open to communicating with the staff to say, hey, I'm noticing that when you present this, they kind of tune out, they kind of check out. Is there another mode? Is there another way? Right? So
Right.
that's very important. And then from there, what then happens is you get buy-in from the child. They're feeling like their voice is heard, so now I'm more willing to participate, right? And then the other piece is we forget, like, they need breaks and they need movement. They need to be able to go out, get some fresh air, move around, go somewhere. I know my daughter and I, we will go, out to the local store, go look at the marina, whatever, somewhere safe right now to just get out of this space. And that's what I think we
Mm-hmm.
forget to do too, is like they need to get out of this space. Being in the house all the time,
I'm just
you could
about
just
to ask
have
you that.
cabin
Right.
fever. Yeah. So bottom line is you got to find safe space to take them places where they can interact and do things, and regardless, like, you can even set up different stations within the house. I know for myself, I have different stations, different workspaces that I work in throughout the house just so that I can simulate that I'm not in the same spot all the time. So it's the same
Mm-hmm.
thing. Yep.
Well, I think that you know, y'all know, anybody that knows me know I'm a refer to God because it's just who I am. It's amazing how God has this uncanny knack to make us have to reinvent living, and I think that
Yeah.
we spent quite a bit of time being disassociated and disengaged and not participating, and this
Mhm.
is not everybody, but in certain communities it is just a casual notion to know that, okay, this is the teacher's responsibility. I'm gonna provide food, shelter, clothing, a safe space to grow up, but when it comes to this classroom stuff, child, I'm not interested. And it's easy to get disengaged. What would you
Yeah.
suggest for a parent, that perhaps they have not been active in their child's education?
Hmm.
Perhaps they don't necessarily know methods of communicating. Maybe they're not computer savvy. Maybe they don't necessarily know. And I'm not being funny, but this is a real
Oh
dialogue.
yeah. Well, and right now there are lots of resources that are out there. So I've been reminding parents to check the websites of the districts, check the school site directly. Don't be afraid to contact and request a meeting to say, hey, I need help. I need a tutorial on how to use this online platform, how to use these things. The schools have been set up per CDE, which is California Department of Education. There are regulatories that have been put in place for families to get supports too on how to do all this. I just think sometimes we don't communicate that to the families because we're so focused on making sure the student has everything. But the family is a part of this student's life. So they need that as well. So there are certain supports that are in place, but each district is different, each school site is different. So that's why I always tell them first go to the website, see what they're offering, make the call, ask for help, don't be embarrassed. You have to speak up. So again, that's that advocacy piece. It's like, what do they used to say? A closed mouth don't get fed. It's
Oh,
the same focal point.
mm-hmm,
So the bottom line is, there are things that have been put in place, but I think sometimes we're not accessing them and we're not accessing them for a variety of reasons.
mm-hmm,
And I don't want to get all into that because that could be a whole nother conversation, right? But the issue is there are available resources and supports that have been put in place to help families. But the bottom line is, I think I can speak on behalf of most of the families right now. They are tired, they are burnt out, they're ready for their kids to go back to some level of normalcy.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, they're also thinking, no, I want my child to be safe. So they're not rushing to bring them back into the setting. But the bottom line is this is a historical event. This has never happened in history. So this is a lot for everybody, you know. So the
Yeah.
bottom line is there's professionals like myself and other people who are there to say, hey, we are here to support you. Contact us, let us know how we could be a support. Like I get a lot of calls just on where to go, where is the resource, how to look this up, who do I call, because sometimes that information isn't clear. And so I help with that process as well. So I often see myself as like this resource navigator where I'm trying to navigate everybody to where they need to go.
Very good. Um, just FYI, the banner that I have up, I'm actually going to resend it again in the comments. Uh, One of the things I love about who Dr. Behave is, or I should say Zoee Bartholomew, Dr. Zoee Bartholomew, is that she is such a wellspring of information and relational teaching and building. And she's connected to so many different networks that she is willing to share herself with her community, her, and not just her immediate community. You got to remember, information crosses all geographical barriers. And so we are building something here. And Jamila Hanif, or Joyful Jamila, is also on. She's another very connected individual who is a huge advocate for community and for our youth and young adults, as well as a care provider. And so you'll see several different comments that you can take a look at. There's a Google form there. You could also just go visit this particular group. It is called Behave University. Honey, Behave University is about to be a whole thing. You understand? It's about to be something. It's in your comments. Don't hesitate if you know somebody, not just with special needs, but parents and family and friends. And here's Ikisha, who is sharing how much impact Dr. Behave has had. And that's Imani. And Imani,
Yeah.
Imani with his fine self, right?
I'm ready.
Listen, that Ikisha takes the best care of that boy, honey. He
Oh,
could have a better mother. But
yeah.
we're building something and a network. What I know, if I don't know anything else, just as a parent, relationships are everything.
Oh, yeah.
But relationships without the proper information can still leave you trying to figure out how to navigate, what to do. And
Right.
I'm sure we may even have a conversation at some point during these next couple of weeks. We will be online every Friday at 7 p.m. Mark your calendars. And we're going to go some deep diving. Today is a simple introduction, and you can actually just hold your phone up, open your camera, scan the QR code, and connect directly to Zoee. Read a little bit more about who she is, what she does in the community. Don't hesitate or forget to like and share ZMB Consulting. And more than anything, get connected with the group. I think the group is going to be something that parents can exchange information. I'm sure we'll have some paraeducators, some child care providers, some additional physicians and doctors of
All are
everything.
welcome.
Right? I'm super excited about it
Oh, yeah.
because I know it'll have the kind of impact that has the power and potential to change our communities. This is an advantageous moment in time and in history. And so I'm excited to be a part of it. I want to talk a little bit about something that you very seldom talk about, but I'm so nosy. Bam, I gotta say it. Right? I gotta talk about it because
Okay.
it is vital to transitioning and changing. And you can now scan this barcode. Let me move this banner here to make sure you guys can have access. Um, Listen, Dr. Zoe Bartholomew has written a book just for you. Can you share a little bit about the book and what it entails and who it's written for?
Yes, so this book is predominantly for parents as well as different providers that work with individuals who have, I just want to say, behavioral challenges. Because I kind of, in this book, I didn't want to focus so much just on special needs as the designated population. I wanted to focus on individuals you may come across that just have behavioral challenges. And in this book, I, as you see me talking here, that's how that book is written. So, meaning I try to use plain language. We got a little colorful language in there because people who know me know I have I have that other side of me as well. And it was my coming out book in a sense to where I didn't write this in this scholarly format of what I do in my academic world and stuff like that. I wanted something for my parents, for my providers to get clear, simple information, matter of fact information, so you can know how to deal with behaviors. I didn't want basically no bullshit. I wanted straight up, this is what you need to do. Here are some steps. Here are my recommendations. Take it or leave it.
Mm-hmm.
Done. And I believe from the individuals who have read the book, who have the book, one of my families, they sent me a picture of them just highlighting. They got their tabs on there. They refer back and forth to it. So I know it's been a helpful tool to those that have it. And
Mm-hmm.
yes, I don't always share that, oh yeah, I have this book. So I'm getting better at it. But yes, I have this book. It's on iBooks. You can also order it paperback. It's there for you. It's a tool for you. It's a quick read. I kept it not too many pages, all that, so that you can enjoy it and get what you need from it and use it again and again and share it with other people.
Yeah, that's seeing that, but that's what I'm talking about. And again, you can simply open your camera on your phone. I wanted this to be as simple and as uncomplicated as possible. Didn't want you to get lost. Simply scan the QR code. It'll take you right to a very short preview of who Dr. Zoe Bartholomew is, honey. And you can order the book right there online without any fluff or anything. One of the things I think I love, just even about our interaction, Zoe is super straight laced, no chaser, right? And so a lot of times, especially dealing with education, you have to attempt to, in many cases, be something you're not. This is not that, right? This is like straight up grown folks dialogue. Listen, I'm mad as hell. My kid is getting on my nerves. And she
Yeah.
said kids that have behavior issues. I call her book the Behavior Bible, honey. It has it got some scripture text in that thing about these bad kids. That's what we like to call kids that have behavior challenges. And I don't think any child is bad. I think that they are unengaged. I think that they are underserved. And I think that a lot of times we do our children a disservice because we don't take the time to gain the tools necessary. Usually those kids, listen, she was one of the bad kids. And if this one was one of the bad kids, let me tell you, if your kid is bad, they probably brilliant. Child. This one right here is so smart, she about crazy. But I love it. I love the
Oh
energy.
yeah.
I love the passion. I love the sharpening that happens between us as even we brainstorm. And anybody that knows anything about me, I'm a builder. I love to build things that make people better. When you connect with people and they don't make you better, you should shake them and fast. You hear me? If something don't happen when you connect with a person and you guys grow and do things in forward momentum, you should do something different. So Zoe, with that being said, because I know time is running short and people's attention spans are about yay long, but we want to let the people know I believe old girl is here and she's here to stay. She came to do
Oh
something,
yeah.
to move something. And listen, I don't fool with no junk, honey. I don't got time to do no whole bunch of play. We came to change and impact some lives. So I'm ecstatic. Not just the lives of our children, but the lives of the parents that love them and want the very best for them. We want to position you to be empowered to revolutionize your child's educational life. Is there anything you want to share with the people before we go until next week? Um,
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want you guys to remember to find moments in time for yourself. So this is to all my parents. I do a training called Me Time. And so there are times in your day that you should have for yourself. And one of the times that I talk about in my trainings is when you go to the bathroom, you should be able to go by yourself, close the door, lock it, and that should be your moment to yourself. Another time is when you're in the car driving, drop the kids off, whatever, going to work. That's your moment. So you have to find the key moments in your schedule that are for you, and you have to capitalize on that. And the reason why you need to do that is because without you, your kids can't perform. So if you're not at your best, they're not going to be able to move without you. You're the lead. So you got to take care of you first and then them. And I know it's the other way around, but remember, going on a plane, they tell you put your mask on first,
Mhm.
then your babies. It's the same thing.
Yep.
So you got to put
Yeah.
on your mask of I'm gonna get my shit together today so
Mhm.
I can help you out and navigate through all this.
Right.
But if I don't have that, I can't help you. So you have to take care of yourself. And I can't express that enough to my families as well as to my providers. You got to take care of yourself if you're going to keep working with these students, clients, whoever they may be in your life. You got to have yourself together. So even for me, I do mindful moments throughout the day. I do my meditation. I do my devotionals. I do things for me to keep myself positive and doing what I need to do each day.
Very good. Very good. That's a big deal. And I think a lot of times, for anybody that knows a portion of my story, with my son's health challenges, just the other day, I called my mother and I was like, "Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you come snatch your grandson up or encourage him to come to your house because I need some me time." I need some, I don't have to cook dinner tonight. I don't have to answer any questions tonight. If I just want to take a shower and stretch out tonight, I really need to do that. And as especially for our women, and I know we have single men that are probably gonna watch as well, but
Oh yeah.
take care of everything and everyone but ourselves. It is impossible to help anybody do anything if you can't breathe. And so I am so learning to nurture the moments of straight me time, right? Of straight
Mhm.
self care where I demand that time for me because I know I need it. And I know that if I'm depleted, I have absolutely nothing to give. And it's not from his education to his medical
Mhm.
care to, there are so many different elements and so many different pieces to it that taking care of myself has got to be a priority. So I'm super
Definitely.
excited about the future of what it is that is now brewing. Um, Again, I look forward to the families that you will impact. the lives that you will actually change, the testimonies that we'll hear as we begin to move forward with some of the people that you've already served. We got some
Oh
really
yeah. I
exciting
got
news.
lifers, I call them. I have clients that I've worked with since they were in elementary school and now they're adults. I'm always accessible. That's one of the things that I try to stay connected with my clients so that if they need me, I'm there for them so that I can give them support. And if I can't do it, I can at least get them to where they need to go.
Very good.
So, yeah, you got to do that.
Very good. And again, it again goes back to relationship building. And so here
Yeah.
we are where we are, a community is being built. And again, I'll just put it up one more time. If you've not done so, don't hesitate. You can simply search Behave University. It's that simple, Behave University, or you can look in the comments and just click on that particular button. Don't forget that if in fact you are interested in having a behavioral Bible, honey, listen, Behave is on the market. You can actually scan this QR code and go directly to the link to acquire the book. I believe it will empower you and it may strengthen you on a different level. So, with that being said, listen, Zoe, I'm super grateful to be in your company. I probably should get your autograph right up and through here. 'Cause, honey, it's about to be a thing. So we'll have some more news that's coming down the pike. She's participating in some amazing, exciting things. You have no idea sometimes who you are brushing up against until it's a little bit too late. If I was y'all, I'd be a friend now. Y'all better, you better get in where you fit in, honey, because this right here is some body. You understand what I'm saying? This is a real live person. So that being said, listen, I'm not gonna hold you or the people up any longer. This was
All
amazing.
right.
I love
Thank you.
how easily we flow. The conversation is great.
Oh, yeah.
Positive that somebody has been empowered. Don't forget, set your calendars, set your alarms, get your reminder. Don't forget to follow the ZMB page to make sure that you stay connected. The conversation gets greater after this. And
Oh,
we will
yeah.
be back next Friday. Same bat station, same bat time. Look for the flyers. And in a minute, we're going to invite some additional people in the dialogue. So you don't want to miss
Oh,
it.
yeah.
You absolutely don't want to not be a part of this group. If in fact success is the end game for you, this is going to be a group that'll revolutionize how you do business and how you advocate for your own family. So, Zoe, thank you so much. And I
Thank
will
you.
meet you backstage in just a moment, and we're going to do it again
All
next.
right.
All right.
All right.
All right. I'm
Bye, everybody. Have a good night.
Once again, I thank you all for joining me. My name is Dion. They call me the Radical Midwife. And this has been another Increased Media Moment. If in fact you are interested in marketing, advertising, listen, hit your girl, holler at me. I'd love to build it with you. I don't just build it for people, I build it with them. And I absolutely adore what I do. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you all who shared. I appreciate you more than you know. And we will meet you right back here next Friday, 7 p.m. for the next 5 weeks. And then thereafter, there's an amazing, amazing journey that I promise you're going to want to take with us. So, with that being said, thanks again for watching and have an amazing night. I'll meet you next week. Bye bye.